Hi, my name is Alan from Alan Re Property. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm gonna talk about this topic. Up next, could there be more aggressive property cooling measures? Here, I got inspired to do this content only after this article that appeared in Edgepop. Singapore may need more aggressive property cooling measures. Barclays. Let me quote, Singapore authority may need to add more aggressive real estate curbs down the road if they fail to tackle a home buying frenzy by early next year. Barclays warned. A recent resurgence in the private market driven by a blockbuster November has raised the likelihood of a revival in property prices. And a repeat of 2017 to 2019 when buyers shrugged off cooling measures. Analysts Brian Tan and Audrey Ong wrote in a note on Monday. A lack of response may well be interpreted as confirmation that policymakers are only half-hearted, trying to contain property prices. Unquote. Well, this set the tone for today's video. Will the authority cool the market, or should they leave it as it is? Here, don't skip this video. This will be an interesting video backed by numbers. Here, let's go. The first instant for me to analyze the data is to refer to URA PPI. Based on URA published data for Q3 2024, it has recorded a negative 1.1% decline in the index. However, if you refer to my earlier video on URA Q3 data, what it means ahead for the private property market, I have shared that this is only seasonal. We need to take a look at a few quarters to have a better understanding of price movement. Suppose we look broader into the past 3 quarters. Overall prices have inched up by 2.3%. Unless we see a huge spike in 4th quarter 2024 all the way towards 1st quarter or even 2nd quarter 2025, then alarm bell should ring. Anyway, URA Q4 2024 data will only be released in early January next year. This means will it be too late if you want to enter or even exit the market if you have plans to sell? Here, I will use Edgepop data as another alternative. However, this is not a comprehensive set of data as compared to URA PPI. So please, interpret them at your own risk. Before you look into the data, what are the signals that the authorities will use before they introduce more measures? Obviously, a spike in prices. If this can be supported by market fundamentals such as rising wages and economic outlook, then this is fine. Then, what are the potential property cooling measures? By looking into my crystal ball, increase LTV law, further up ABSD again. What else? Capital gain tax across board. And since they are always complain that property agent push up property prices, who knows? Maybe one day URA will talk to HDB and copy their resale portal for private owners to list and sell their own properties. Don't say it won't happen when private price continue to inch upwards. Anyway, sometimes how I wish all my sellers were more realistic in the first place. So what segment should we compare? New sales or resale transactions? Obviously, it falls on new sales transactions after more than 2,500 units were sold in a couple of weeks. Firstly, let's take a look at its volume on a yearly basis using Edgepop data that cover only condominiums. If we compare it to the earlier peak in 2021, there are 14,523 new sales transactions. In 2024, there are 7,151 new sales transactions. Hold on, let's assume more caveat for new homes will come in gradually to the end of the year. Let me round it up to 7,300 units. This is easily double than 2024 numbers. That is why the authority cooled the market after witnessing a huge spike in volume and prices. If we look at the 2023 number, there are 6,953 new sales transactions. This means new home transaction volume is only 5% more than the last year number. Okay, not too big a significant jump. Price-wise, in 2023, average price is 2,390 per square feet. In 2024, average price is 2,261 per square feet. This means prices has dipped by 6%. Seriously, I'm a little doubtful on this part. Anyway, let's take a closer look on a quarterly basis. Q4 2024 numbers are indeed high at 3,551 units. This is almost on par from Q1 to Q3 2024 combined together. If we compare Q4 2023 and Q4 2024, there is obviously a drastic increase. However, let us be fair. There is always seasonal timing and the launch of project is always at the discretion of property developers. For 6 new launches to be launched at almost the same time is also a strategy to time it before the school holiday and to ride the wave before President Donald Trump take office in 2025. As we all know, we are all living in a very uncertain world now. I know some of you here will say, Alan, why do you compare new homes only? Why never compare resale transactions? Who knows? It's the resale market that push up the overall prices. Okay, no problem. Let me run some comparison from 2021. This will give us a broader perspective on price movement over the years. New home prices was 1,930 per square feet. Resale prices then was 1,345 per square feet. This means the difference between them was 43%. If we tally back to 2024 numbers, new home prices is 2,261 per square feet. The resale prices now is 1,644 per square feet. This means the difference between them is 37%. The delta has declined. It's either new homes are cheaper today or resale prices has played catching up. If we measure new home prices from 2021 to 2024, it has spiked by 17% so far. As for resale, it has increased by 22%. Wow. Don't rule out resale property, my friends. As I always say, they can give you a run for your money. On further check, these are some TOP condos that are relaunched and sold in 2024. They are also classified as resale transactions. This may indirectly play a part in pushing up the resale data too. What can we conclude? Well, by looking at the numbers by Edgepop, it seems that the sudden increase in new sales could be due to the timing of the launch due to market conditions ahead. As for new sales hitting record high PSF, it seems that resale transactions are also hitting the same note with a rising tide. Take note, this analysis is only supported by publicly available data. I do not have access to the profile of the buyers, the amount of ABSD they are paying, the loan to value ratio on mortgage, and other data that are crucial in making an assessment. Only URA, IRAS, and MAS can access them. Sometimes I just wonder if I can gain access to them. Surely I will do better content. Hence, for this video, will the authority come up with any more cooling measure is yet to be seen. They have to justify to the general public if PPI has shoot up once again following the subtle increase in the past quarters. As previously mentioned, new sales will definitely affect the URA PPI. To what extent? Let's wait for URA Q4 2024 data and the overall data for 2024 before we can assess if the measure, if announced, are justifiable. Will there be a knee-jerk reaction in announcing a Christmas present before the end of the year? Well, it is anyone's guesses. Will the authority come back with more aggressive measures? Let's turn back the clock. For those who can still remember, back then in May 1996, the authority cooled the red-hot property market by introducing capital gain tax. I can still recall the entire property market crashed overnight. The market was very bearish. Investor cut losses and everyone are selling fire sale properties. At the same time, unexplained death always occur during a property correction. That is why most governments don't want to see that happening. Soon afterwards, on 18 November 1997, the authority reviewed the government measures. Let me read out what was being said. These measures are not intended to fix property prices at any particular level. They have to take into account the regional economic uncertainties and avoid aggravating the excess supply and pessimistic sentiment in the property market. Whenever buyer complain when prices are high, the government cool the market. Whenever seller complain when prices are low, the government lift up the measures. Why like that? 我搞了讲做政府只能是排做啊。Anyway, election is coming. Voters must be happy. Then politicians will be happy. And lastly, as long as most Singaporeans are happy, can ready, it's impossible to please everyone. Just like my content. That's all. See you and take care.